Hello everyone, my name is Jesse, this is The Auditorium, I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. Today is the debut of a game that's never been on here. This is the Goddess of Victory, Nikke. We have two songs. We have Pursuit and Wilderness from the channel Dexterous Potato, requested by Razor. I'm not sure if it's Nikke, Goddess of Victory, or Goddess of Victory, Nikke, and I think I'm pronouncing it right. I think Nien might be Nien might be the developer. I'm not entirely sure, but this thumbnail is crazy. I don't know anything about these, but I have quite a bit of requests for this game, and another video coming up right after. So, I accidentally saw when I looked up the wiki how to pronounce the name that it's a third-person shooter, and that's as much as I saw. So, at least I know that much. I don't know anything about this, but this is Goddess of Victory, Nikke. Pursuit. Oh, it's a moving thumbnail. Seven-string guitar, pretty sure. A little Doom inspired, maybe. Oh, the bass. That bass is super crunchy. Oh, this is nice. Very nice metal energy here. Very digestible metal. This is rhythmic. I'd be surprised if there'd be a guitar solo in this, but we'll see. Oh, this is a very... Is this game new? Because this is like a very modern way of playing guitar right now. This is kind of hot right now. This has kind of like been a style for the past like 5 years. Very rhythmic and a lot of quick leads thrown in there to fill it up. As fills, I mean. This is cool. But do you hear the bass? The bass is making it so much harder too. Wow. This has to be a brand new game, or past 5 years. The drummer is killing it. Oh. Constant rhythmic changes. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's something you don't hear all the time. Like, instead of just ending on that chord and fading out, they like snuck in the riff again. Just a little bit in there. Oh, that's really, really cool. Damn, dude. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. I mean, the closest thing I can compare it to would obviously be Doom, but, you know, Doom is just one of the more, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? The more, like, commercial successful ones, but bands have been doing this for a while, and that sound has been around for a little bit. But it's not in too many games, I guess. That's a sort of it's like a hybrid style of djent, D-J-E-N-T, and that was a genre kind of created what I thought was a joke, but it wasn't after a while. But it was like a genre kind of based off of the sound it's making, like jet, jet, jet. You know what I mean? It's silly, but that's kind of from what I recall the origins of it. Because I was growing up as the word was developing, and I was already playing guitar during this time. So every time I heard the word jet, it was like kind of like a joke, and then it kind of went from like ironically to unironically, that kind of thing. I don't know if Jen is still around, but this is kind of stemmed from that. But anyways, this style is very relevant. I'd say still now. Obviously, the world of guitars has evolved throughout mankind, right? Every decade seems to have their own sound, right? The bluesy stuff, 60s, 70s, right? We can kind of imagine what guitar riffs sounded like throughout the decades. Even the 2000s and 2010s had stuff. But late 2010s till now is kind of a lot of this at least through as far as like social media is concerned, like Instagram clips, TikTok clips. There's a lot of like technical ability being shown. There's also a lot of fakery going on as well. There's a lot of people that like manipulate clips to make it look like they're playing. It's a whole thing. But anyways, but the whole like very rhythmic style of guitar, dun 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 dun, and then between the fill, something really quick. It's almost like the guitars are playing the drums if you think about it, right? Instead of just it's so there's a lot of that lately, and bands like what's that one super popular band with God, I have one of the guys' guitars and I can't even remember the name. Tim, what band are you in? Polyphia. Yeah, Polyphia. Was it Tim Henson? God, I'm drawing such a blank today. Of course, Mick Gordon. I can't think of any right now, but yeah, there's that one song that like went completely viral, and I think that has to do with it too. We can't underestimate. Let me find the song name because I'm drawing a blank. We can't underestimate like just how influential viral stuff is. I know that might seem kind of silly to think about, but oh yeah, Goat. Of course, it's called Goat. I can't play it here, but 47 million views 6 years ago. Yeah. If you search Polyphia Go, you'll know what I'm talking about immediately. Except that stood out at the time because that was like a mixture of really technical guitar with like a hip hop beat. So it was like, Anyways, I haven't heard much of this style in a game though. It exists, but it's also reminds me of one of my favorite bands, Within the Ruins. And they have I love bringing this series of songs up because it reminds me of video games. You know how games have like sequels or trilogies and the whole anthology thing. Like there's different volumes. There's these is it trilogy? Maybe a quadrilogy of songs from a band called Within the Ruins called Ataxia. So Ataxia 1, Ataxia 2, Ataxia 3, etc. One of my favorite like instrumental pieces of music ever, and it's just like really rhythmic guitar stuff with stuff like this way ahead of its time. I think this was like over 10 years ago, I think. So anything that can remind me of that is really cool. This sounds like a really fun time. I haven't seen what it looks like. I just see these images and then I know it's a third-person shooter. So I would have to imagine there's a emphasis on online play or something. Anyways, I want to get right next to the next one because we have a lot of music to listen to. Also, after this, I'm hearing more of this game. So this is Wilderness, and the only thing I know about this is that these two songs are connected within the same, I think, world. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think the same world or chapter or something like that. I'll look it up in a second. This is Wilderness, Goddess of Nikke, or Goddess of, what is it? Goddess of Victory, Nikke. Oh, see. And now it's sounding like Killer Instinct, so. This is a really impressive soundtrack, though. I'm telling you right now, like the production of the mixing is a lot of rear dissonant, ugly chords. Those big compressed drums. You hear those drums sound so snappy? They sound like bullets. Oh, is this riff gonna come in right now? Woo! I'm listening, don't worry. They play in the same story arc. You know, I gotta give it up to this. There's a lot of variety here. It's not just one genre of music. There's just a lot of different... Damn, dude! Who composed this? And then we hear the acoustic instrument on the side. Hiroyuki Sawano? Oh wait, no, hold on. That might have just been the main song. Cosmograph? Cosmograph. Cosmograph? There's so much mixing power here. This is really cool because it's about to go up a couple steps right now. And then the drums change too. That's so sick. That's a technique I haven't heard in so long. That was very big during the like hardcore emo era. I might have to pull out my guitar for this. Maybe, we'll see. That reminds me, if you're into this and you want to hear more video game music like this, look no further than Viscera Fest. I've reacted to it here. Yeah, Viscera Fest, one word. Damn, dude. Okay, I mean, to be honest, I'm so like excited that I forgot to put on my sunglasses. So just pretend I put them on. And I wasn't even once thinking of like the gameplay or anything. I was just listening to all the musical ideas that were happening. Clearly they're professional. They know what the hell they're doing. Everything was mixed perfectly, like almost too perfectly. Which, by the way, that is kind of a thing about this genre. And it's not a bad thing. It's a stylistic choice. But like stuff like this is like overly mixed and like really perfectly cut. You know what I mean? Like the takes are 100%. Everything is like perfectly within the lines. You know what I mean? That's why it sounds so tight. And you know, that could be a debate whether people think like there's like a skill issue or a live take, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter when it comes to like the artistic choice. It's kind of like autotune, right? I used to be like in my teenage years very, very against autotune, and I pretty much still am. But you know what I mean. But that was to cover like mistakes and to, you know, people that would like lie about it, that kind of thing. That's a whole different thing. But I think when it's used stylistically as a like a sound, then whatever, you know, maybe they just like the way they sound like that, as opposed to this person can't sing and they're faking it kind of thing. You know what I mean? This is just like a whole thing, and it's been going on forever, right? Like think of like back in the 80s with like Zapp and Roger, you know, that wasn't their voice, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely, there was a part of me when I was growing up, and if I heard this, maybe like when I first started playing guitar, I would have said something like, well, I mean, it's like too perfect, you know what I mean? But you start to kind of open your mind, and you start to realize this is like a professional product, and honestly, maybe they just wanted it to sound this way, and that's okay, you know? It's okay. It's another thing when people claim they can like do that live or something, you know what I mean? That's a whole different thing. Anyways, but it's still fun to listen to because it's so over the top. It's like, what can I even compare it to? I don't even know. I guess it'd be something kind of like The Matrix, like the movie, right? Like there's regular movies and there's like very exaggerated CGI with like bending backwards and time. It's something like that, you know what I mean? It's still enjoyable. This is crazy. For either song, I did not get any sort of setting or anything. I was just thinking, I got a lot of flashbacks. This is really cool because this is kind of like, I feel like whoever recorded this on guitar has to be around my same age. Because those were like very relevant techniques in the past 15-ish years. Almost 20 years now, Jesus. For example, in the second song, the use of these kind of like dissonant, ugly chords, that was really popular during like 2004, 2009, 2010. Like it was during like when emo was really big and hardcore stuff like that. Bands like Whitechapel and just things like that. And hearing it like again later in 2025, even though I don't know when this was released, but in a modernized way with that kind of newer rhythmic style, it's really cool, and it works. And then Gent as well. So it was like a combination of the past like 15, 20 years of heavy metal music, plus the electronic like compressed drums. So I think anyone who's like a fan of like Devil May Cry, Doom, Viscera Fest, maybe even Risk of Rain at sometimes, would probably get a huge kick out of this. I'm loving it. And I still have 2 other songs to listen to. I feel like I'm gonna do something that I haven't really done, and that's like, I just feel like pulling out my 7-string guitar, which this definitely used, and I feel like just making like a riff inspired by this, and just kind of like demonstrate very quickly like what these techniques we just heard, and like but out of like my brain, I want to see if I can make something up in the next 3 minutes. But in the meantime, that was the debut of the Goddess of Victory, Nikke. We have more songs to listen to after this, so stick around for the credits, as you can hear whatever riff I come up with. I have no idea what it's going to be, but it's going to use what we heard here. Thank you to the requesters, and thank you to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Tell me more about this game. Peace.